always in my life when I have that knowing, like I want more or there's more possible. In my whole healing journey, that was the voice that like led me the entire time, was like I just knew something was more possible for me than what I'd been experiencing. And so I think the same thing in business, this idea that that impulse is like a good, healthy impulse, and to start to like trust that.
Hello, and welcome back to the Oracle on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Leah Dunlap, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Dr. Jenny Mann. Dr. Jenny Mann is the founder and CEO of Nova Wellness, and I'm here to tell a little bit about your story. What we do on this show, Jenny, and I'm sure you've been watching it so you know, is we help women founders and entrepreneurs to become inspired, to have a sense that they understand what other people are going through on their journey to become an entrepreneur, on becoming a founder, on making changes in their lives that it requires, when you become a founder, from being, especially for you, I thought we could talk about what it's like to become a founder versus like a solo practitioner. Because a lot of people go through that change, and I know you've done that recently. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself and, of course, your journey to become a real founder and CEO of your company?
Yeah, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I live in San Francisco. We serve the Bay Area. And I really got into this work because of my own healing journey. I was very sick for many years, and that drove me to go really deep into the medicine. I don't think I would have gone as deep into the medicine and into healing if I hadn't experienced such difficulty with my health myself. And I think that really informed how I was as a doctor too, because I was going through it a lot with my patients. Things I'd learn on myself, I would do with my clients. And then I really broke through on my health a few years ago, which was kind of just a new chapter opened in my life. And then this new chapter opened in myself as a clinician, but moving more into being like a business owner and really desiring to keep, really create the environment for people to do their healing. I still love doctoring, but something opened up for me in that healing around my perspective, what I want to offer, and just how I want to serve at this point in my life.
I think it's great that you talk about that, when we have this impetus, this thing in our own lives that really inspires us to dive into a subject like you did, and we are taking other people on that journey as well. There's a point where we have to kind of step away and become the leaders of the story rather than standing next to people. At what point did you feel like you moved from someone there alongside them to someone who is like helping them through their own as the leader of this path that you've been, moving on?
Yeah, my journey is so entwined with my own physical health, and I can't separate out, what's evolved in my spirit, my body, me as a person, my personality. It's so entwined. So once my health broke through, it was just my whole perspective changed. I was kind of living in a whole new world almost, and knowing myself in a new way, knowing aspects of myself I didn't have access to before when I was so sick.
Right. And that's a very vital part of the work that you do. I know we've talked about that. So tell us more, like, what is the difference? Like, so many people out there, of course, and all these different kind of health challenges, there's a lot of people looking for like solutions. And some of them, of course, are looking for that quick next thing. Do you offer that, or how are you different?
We're different in the sense that we are very holistic. So for me in my health journey, not everyone is as sick as I was, or, but I had to do everything. I mean, I went to the edges of whatever, consciousness and health and all the things. Not everyone has to do that, but the majority of people have to do that to some extent. And I think what's changing now is people have access to so much information, like this clip on Instagram, this email that they got. And so they're trying to piece all this together. And you do need to address all the pieces. You can't just take the apple cider vinegar and get healed from your digestive issues. You have to look at all the different aspects, including the inner self, to really get that lasting healing, which is what we want for our clients. Is we don't want you to just feel better for a day. I want you to feel better and know yourself for the rest of your life. So we're very comprehensive in that way. We're very thorough. We don't like to leave pieces out, and we want people to be truly empowered and integrated it into their lives versus something I did one weekend, or I did this fast and I felt better, and I stopped and it felt worse.
That's a piece that I think people, when they're looking at their health and they fall into these like shiny object health, opportunities, like the next fad or what have you. It seems like part of what I'm hearing you say is that it's not only just like taking that one step, but it's looking at your whole person, right? And I think a lot of times people don't think about their health, strangely enough, as part of their whole mind, body, spirit, as a unit.
Yes.
Right? So it's like I'm doing okay in my work, but yeah, my shoulder hurts all the time. But that's okay, because I'm really doing well at work. That they don't see the connection between their physical health, their spiritual or mental, health, and their life and their work, the way that they do that.
What if you could tap into the law of attraction with precision and power on your terms? I'm Leah Dunlap, and in my audiobook, Power Up the Law of Attraction, I give you the no-fluff blueprint to create a life of purpose, prosperity, and peace. Ready to stop manifesting by accident and start creating with intention? Download Power Up the Law of Attraction now on Audible. Now, back to the show.
Do you find it for your clients and your patients that there's that aha moment for them of like, oh, this isn't just another diet, or it's not just another pill, or it's not just another, potion of some sort, but this is all about really kind of changing the landscape of what they're doing?
Yeah, it's like health as a way of being versus something you do when you go to the doctor, or you do when you go to the gym, or you do when you did that cleanse. It's like it's an orientation to life. And I think that's a thing that it does take time when we're working with people to have it become integrated in that way, versus so many people measure themselves against the scale, or measure themselves in terms of like perfection with health, or like an idea of it, but to truly live your health. So when you're traveling, you're stressed, when you're socializing, all these things, it's integrated in there.
I think that's great to think about. Like, wait, it's like just like the aha little bubble there was, if we're not acknowledging the whole self, and we're not taking from our healers or healthcare professionals a holistic look at what our health profile looks like, there's so much more that we're capable of if we do that work. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like that kind of brings us more into what we want to do. Because I think sometimes people feel like, I don't have time.
Oh, yeah. It's a
I don't
separate
have time.
thing.
That's over there. Yes.
Yes. It's almost your health as your essence, as connected to your spirit, as, it is a more integrated, living, organic, dynamic way of being.
That seems very forward thinking right now. Do you find that a lot of people are coming to that with are your clients coming because they've tried everything else? Are they coming because they're looking for the latest news thing? Like where are the people that are looking to see what you have to offer? Where do you find them?
I think most people are suffering in their health to some extent, and a lot of women especially are taught to just grin and bear it or just put up with it. And so they go to their regular doctor, don't get answers. They're trying things on Instagram. They're trying really hard, not getting improvement. That weight isn't coming off, or the brain fog isn't going away, or periods are really difficult, or whatever it is. And then they're like, okay, maybe there is something more for me. I'm going to start. And I do need guidance. And that's usually the point we're at when we talk to people.
Great. For people that are working with you now, tell us like a really great story about someone that you've worked with that made that transition or had that journey with you, who came to you in that way and maybe now is doing much better. Maybe one of your patients that really stands out for you is somebody that really took all of those pieces you're talking about to heart.
Yeah, I had a client come in with PCOS. She's having irregular periods. She was really depressed at her job, and totally stretched thin there and super stressed out. And she ended up taking a break from work. We started working on her health, but there was this piece that we're talking about it, where all of a sudden it went from that I have to do this. Kind of trying to get like a perfection around it to like, oh, actually my body feels really good when I do this. I don't have to cut out sugar. It's like, actually I feel better when I eat this way. And then her cycle started getting more regular. Yeah. And she recently had a baby, you know, so
Yay.
the fertility came in and everything too. But it was this like, all these rules she'd set up all of a sudden just became like, oh, I'm getting this and my body's responding and it feels really good. And then that led naturally like to the fertility.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. Yay. Babies. I love my babies.
Oh,
So
yeah, very satisfying.
It is a very satisfying, yeah, what a
Very
great
tangible.
result. Yeah, very tangible result. So, so you've created this business, you built it on your own journey. As you're like moving through this, we know, because we're talking to people who are founders and we're also talking to women. So I'm sure a lot of things you just said have really kind of started percolating, and little bells are going off for people. And I want to bring it back to the idea of like this part of your journey as a woman founder and owner to move from being the doctor, like you said, to being the person who now creates a space for this to happen, this transformation that you're talking about. What was it like? What did you do to make that transition? What was it? What did you need? What were the resources that you used to go from that to the next level for yourself and your business?
Yeah, I think there was somewhat of an element of kind of questioning or shame, like, why am I not just satisfied with, I paid all this money for my education, I put in all these years, I've done all this training, like what is happening to me?
Yeah.
And this kind of like questioning. So, I mean, we've worked together for a number of years. That's in that space, we explore a lot of that. Around alignment, around, okay, no, this isn't a bad thing that's happening. It's a natural evolution of who I am and what I have to offer, and to kind of have a space to come to terms with that and get excited about it, actually.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. Yes. And we have been working together for a long time. So Jen happens to be one of my clients as well. But this piece that you just said, I think is really important, which is that idea of more. And talking about like having the space to have more, want more. What would you say to other people that are listening going, yes, I think I do want more. I do see more, but are coming up against that edge. What would you share with them now that you've kind of moved past that for yourself to some degree?
Always in my life when I have that knowing, like I want more or there's more possible. In my whole healing journey, that was the voice that like led me the entire time, was like I just knew something was more possible for me than what I'd been experiencing. And so I think the same thing in business, this idea that that impulse is like a good, healthy impulse, and to start to like trust that, and to like want is like a good animal desire.
There it is. You heard it here. All cards on the table. To want is a good thing. Yes.
To want, especially as a woman, is so suppressed in so many realms around that, our appetite, our sexual appetite, all these things of like being suppressed in our want, but that our want is good.
Yeah.
And to want more, aligned more, is just good for you and good for everyone else around you.
Well, that's a good piece too, right? To think about the fact that it's not just general wants, like because there is that kind of want that's filling an empty hole.
Yes.
Right. And then there's that, like you said, it's like from a desired place, a natural place to follow that. And of course, that leads to like learning to tap into your intuition, which I know we've worked on and talked about too. It's like there is that part of you that knows the way, and then getting more comfortable with that. And so the good thing about this call, and I'm sure you're so familiar with this, having worked together, is we're always taking the time at the end of the call to have you guys have the chance to ask a question of the Oracle.
Yeah.
And the reason we do that is not just to help you, but as a way of saying thank you, but it's to let people understand and see like what it's like if you have a question, what that can look like to get assistance and get support. So I'm curious today if you have a question rolling around that you might want to share with me here and with our audience.
Oh, well, we can kind of go with that theme maybe of anything around that want, like that she has to say about that for me and how I can integrate that more into my life, or let go of anything that could allow that more to unfold more.
Well, it's beautiful that you asked that question because, we've been here, we're taping live. So we've been here for a few days. And what I recognize of you and that she's sharing about you right now is when even you're just speaking about it, you're speaking from a much more aligned and focused place today about that. But it's a gift for you to have this experience. The knowledge you have about what you did to journey through that wanting and letting go of that resistance to wanting and desiring is a really pivotal piece for you to keep in your toolbox for your clients moving forward, because you're nearly graduated from the space of coming up against that edge. And the only thing that is left for you is to teach it forward. Right? When we have something like that, I think it's always a point of knowing that if something comes up for us, it's always for us, but it's always for us as all we are. And so she's saying, like, this was a gift. Moving through this piece for you of wanting and coming to terms with that desire being, like you said, okay. And now actually I see you standing more and more in sharing it out, and that's the final piece. Right? So you're nearly graduated in the idea of like what it takes to move that needle for yourself. And I think that's true for us as a whole. So as you asked, she says, like, to know for everyone who's watching that if we do come across these things, a big portion of that is because we're here to teach it too. We're here to share it forward. The knowledge, the lesson, the experience, when we go through it, it's so that we can share it as well on the other side. And you're right there. She's like, with that little smirk she gives us, she's like, you're so close to graduating from this thing that you should stop thinking of it as something you're still working on.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not something you're working on anymore. I think this is a piece that you actually got to, you get your gold star, and you get to be the one to like really own that, because it's something that your own clients are going to come up against. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great question, because I think that does play a lot to a lot of people out there that are listening. So thank you for asking. And of course, people are like so amazed, I'm sure, right now by everything you said. And we covered a lot of ground, and we could talk forever, obviously. Yes. And I definitely would love to have you come back. So why don't you tell people how they would get more information about what you're doing and what you've got going on that they can maybe take a look at?
Okay, great. Well, you can definitely go to our website. And our website is www.novawellnessmed.com. And we're doing a rebrand and a whole new website to unveil soon. So there'll be lots more available there.
Lots more coming. Yes. Stay tuned. All right. So it's novawellnessmed.com. And don't worry if you're rushing to get a pencil, because we'll get you covered. We'll go ahead and link everything to Jen here. You'll see her. I know you're on social media as well, so you'll be able to find her. Dr. Jenny Mann, thank you so much for being here.
Aww.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your journey. I know that's going to make a lot of a difference for people out there that are, moving along that same journey line. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Leah.
All right. And thank you so much for being here and watching us again. We're so glad to have you back on our episode. Please stay tuned. Hit the button below, subscribe, and come on back. We'll have more great guests coming up next time. Thanks again. I'm Leah Dunlap, and this is the Oracle on Purpose podcast.